Happy to have Bonnye Matthews here at Fireside Books with three very popular prehistoric novels. Tell me about your books.
Sure. It's a novel series. This is the first one. The novel series is Winds of Change, and the focus is the peopling of the Americas prior to 11,700 years ago. That's called the Clovis Barrier, and it's pretty much been broken, but that's part of why I wrote this, is to show what might have been. So this is based on 5 years of research, but it's speculation as to what it might have been. In the first book, they are fleeing a volcano that's based on Mount Toba, which was a super volcano, and they move to China, Mongolia from there. Oh, this is the first one. And then the story part of it is a coming-of-age story of a young girl who is predestined by virtue of being given a memory that's incredible to become the next wise one of the people. And she's not real enthusiastic about it. But it means losing her childhood. Nevertheless, that's this story and how they manage in China, Mongolia. The second book in the series is Manak Na's story. And in that one, Manak Na has raised his children, and he decides that since he has always wanted to adventure, that he's going to take a boat trip that he's found out about from China, Mongolia to Mexico, which is not called Mexico then, obviously, and then back. And he's promised his wife, who's not real thrilled about the idea, to put it mildly, he's promised her that he'll only take one adventure. And then what you've got to find out is whether it's limited to one adventure or has he caught the bug. The reason that this book exists is because in the first book, I didn't finish Kiti's life, and my readers said, no, you can't jump to 50,000. You've got to finish Kiti's life. So this finishes her life, but it's not her story. This book, Zamimolo's story, jumps to 50,000 BC. And it is a partial migration of the people from China, Mongolia to Central America and South America. Because the change in environment is so huge, they're going from a 4-season cold winter to a single season hot summer. And the animals are all really strange to them because South America used to be an island. And it moved north and pushed up Central America. And because it used to be an island, the animals are like those in Australia or Madagascar, for that matter. And they're just different. I mean, you run into a 20-foot tall sloth or an armadillo that's the size of a Volkswagen. Strange animals in here. And because they don't know the environment, the night they arrive, one of their members is abducted. The bugs and all the animals got very, very quiet, and they thought that the silence was because their wise one was getting ready to speak, and they didn't understand that the animals and bugs were picking up on an intruder. So this story is about Zamimolo's quest to find Olumerimia, who has been abducted. And you go through the twists and turns of life, and you get to find out, does he find her? And if he does, what's the outcome? So that's the series. The fourth book, people finally arrive in Alaska, and that's not written yet.
So this is all coming back to Alaska then?
Yes,
To Alaska.
they will get to Alaska. They're migrations to Alaska, numbers of them, but that's later in time than what I'm writing about here.
Wow, that's amazing. So how did this series start? What
I moved to Alaska, and I just ask questions all the time. I want to know what my environment is. And so I said, okay, the first Americans are supposed to be the first Alaskans. That's what they teach all over the place. And they came across the land bridge, and I started researching because I thought if I find out who the first Alaskans are, then I'll know who the first Americans are. Well, I started researching and discovered that that's not necessarily the case at all. And I was closer in time to when the Clovis Barrier, which is this 11,700 years ago period of time, academics did not want to push behind that or further back in time than that line. And what I decided after my research was, hey, you know, I've learned a lot, but I'm not credentialed to write nonfiction in this area. It's already been done. So I started looking at fiction, and there's a book here and a book there, but there's no series. And I thought, I have found my niche. I'm a workaholic. This will keep me busy for the rest of my life. This is wonderful. So that's how the series came to be.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And just, I know that we've had a lot of people come in and who've read the first and second one and are excited about the third one. And so they're probably going to be banging on your door for the fourth one.
Well, it's really funny because I had no clue that people outside the U.S. would know that I exist. Mm-hmm. And because I put my email address on the first page of my website, sure. I got an email from a doctor who works in the United Arab Emirates, and he's Hungarian. And his question was, when is book 3 coming out? What? But it made me realize that there is an outreach with this that's amazing. You never know where it's going to go, and it's just incredible.
Well, thank you so much for being here at Fireside Books today and for sharing the 3 coming on 4 stories.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this.